Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. It is Tuesday, September 28th. Ian Cameron and Conor Mack with you, ready to break down the MLB card for a Tuesday, the final Tuesday of the regular season, if you will. I mean, we're down to the last, 6 days of the regular season. Sunday's going to be it. That's game 162, and we've still got a lot up for grabs, in terms of division races. We've still got a contested one in the NL West that's up for grabs, the Giants and the Dodgers. Phillies aren't completely dead. Behind the Atlanta Braves right now for two and a half games back. You look at the wild card races in both leagues. St. Louis seems pretty safe, 5.5 games up. They're just on the verge of clinching. And of course, in the American League, you've got basically 4 teams still in the hunt for 2 spots. I think you can pretty much count Oakland out after losing last night to Seattle. But definitely the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners all still very much alive for those 2 wild card spots in the AL. So it's going to be a very, very exciting last 6 days of the season coming up here. Let's begin breaking down this Tuesday card. We'll start with a game with nothing at stake, essentially, and it's the first of a game of a day-night doubleheader. The Marlins and the Mets. We've got Zach Thompson and Marcus Stroman. The pitching matchup, Mets minus 160. Home favorites, 5.5. The total shaded to the over. I'm going to be very, very brief with these non-playoff involving these teams that are out of the playoffs and just say dog or pass. When you're talking about 2 teams that are out of it, playing for exercise, especially when you're talking about the favorite, the New York Mets, laying in this minus 170 to minus 180 range right now in this game with the disappointing season they've had, with the struggles they've had as well to win games here as of late. Not seeing a lot of energy, not seeing a lot of enthusiasm right now with this Mets team. I mean, I'm definitely not rushing to lay this kind of number with them. They've lost 5 in a row. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. It's not like the Marlins are much better. They've lost 5 in a row. They got swept by the Rays over the weekend. But, if I'm going to have to pick a side here, it's Miami at the plus price or nothing at all. I don't know if I'll bet it, but it's Miami or pass for me. Conor Mack, what do you think? Mets Marlins.
Yeah, I don't love these double headers, but and there could be a split, but I think you take the dog if you were to. This game's just going to get underway, and game 2's later we'll talk about. There's just no way. This Mets team, they're not very good. They're 10 games under. They're both lost 5 in a row. Both teams can't hit. Give me the Marlins. I lean a little bit under, but I think it's like 5.5 game 1, and I think game 2 is similar. I had to go down. Well, we'll get to it, but yeah, it's the Marlins or passer.
Yeah, you know what? Usually we go in order of start time. We're going to do game 2 actually right now with this doubleheader.
Okay.
We'll knock them both out of the park right now, Miami and the Mets. This is the second game now. Trevor Rogers for the Marlins. Noah Syndergaard, son of a gun. I don't even know.
Showing up right at the end.
To be honest with you. Just shut the guy down, will you please? I mean, gosh. I mean, come on, Rojas. I mean, you got nothing to play for. What if he comes back here and he shoots his arm up out again here and you've got another injury to deal with? I mean, it's just, I don't think it's unnecessary for him to start here. He's coming off Tommy John surgery, for crying out loud. And now you're going to put him out there on September 20th for one start. This is the only start he's going to get, probably, because we're at the end of the regular season. It's just, I don't get it. But nevertheless, they're going to put him in there. They're minus 145 with Syndergaard on the mound for his one and probably only start this year. The total 5.5, 6. Your guess is as good as mine, what you're going to get from him. Obviously it's a guy that's off Tommy John surgery on his right elbow, which is, of course, is his throwing elbow. Who knows what we're going to see from him here in this outing. He hasn't pitched in eons. That's not a situation where I'm looking to lay minus 145, minus 150 here with the Mets, just like the last game. Marlins are pass. I don't see any rush to have to want to bet it, or certainly want to back Syndergaard, not knowing exactly what you're going to get from a guy who's hasn't pitched in a while, coming off Tommy John on his throwing elbow, pitching a meaningless season finale, for pitching a meaningless game for a team that's had a disappointing year. I mean, just very, very dubious all around here to want to lay any sort of price with the Mets or Syndergaard in this spot. So just like game 1, it would be Marlins or pass for me once again. Conor Max, you feel the same here?
Same thing. You said it all, especially maybe if Marlins lose. I still don't think I'm even going to get involved, but it'd only be Marlins here at this plus price. Yeah, Syndergaard off the arm is injury, and you're going to throw this one game, and I'd lean under. I was just both these games. I know it's low at 5.5. Both teams can't hit a lick. and you got two good pitchers. With Rogers, until he was out there for a while, I mean, I thought he was, rookie of the year. He still might be, but he still has good stuff, good lefty. So, and the Mets can't hit lefties. So I'd be on that plus 130.
Yeah, it's
All
I
right, free
agree.
bet.
Yeah, it's definitely Marlins are passed for both of those doubleheader matchups there between those two teams. All right, we move on now to the next game, Cubs and Pirates. Another matchup of two teams playing for exercise. We got Alec Mills and Mitch Keller, the pitching matchup, even money here, both sides, 8.5 the total. I think this game could go over the total. Pirates are hitting a little bit lately, a little bit better. Cubs, at least capable at times on the offensive side of things. And when you look at these two pitchers, I don't trust either one. Alec Mills in his last start, 7 runs, 6 hits, and 4.2 innings against the Twins. In his last 8.2 innings, he's given up 11 runs on 12 hits, just brutal. And this is the Alec Mills I expected to see all year for the Cubs. Just took him a while to finally look like the bad pitcher that I thought he'd be. And now he's pitching that way. Mitch Keller, his last start wasn't that bad. 2 runs against the Reds, but still, he got out of a lot of jams, a lot of trouble, and his ERA still is not good. 5.96 ERA, especially at home. His ERA is absolutely dreadful, Keller, here at PNC Park. Both bullpens have been struggling of late. The series history with these two teams has gone over the total, 5-0 in the last 5 head-to-heads. Cubs and Pirates over the total. 8.5, reasonable number. Give me the over here with these two. What do you think, Connor? Cubs, Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, you just gave the numbers. I mean, the Cubs just are an over every game, it seems like. I think they've hit like 18 out of the last 20. They're just over machine. At 8.5, I think. And like Hap, I was looking up, 6 for 11 with 2 homers. But a lot of these Pirates rip Mills. 5 for 9, Moran with a homer. 4 for 8, Reynolds with 2 homers. Who else has 2? Newman, 2 for 6 with it,
Newman!
So yeah, Newman. I think over 2. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it because, like you said, I trying to just stay away from this shit. But that'd be my only play in this one if I had a free bet.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I mean, and I like these situations. Bad pitchers, two teams going nowhere. Just have some fun, break the bats out, and score some runs. And I think you're going to see that here with these two teams tonight. All right, Boston Red Sox and Baltimore Orioles. We got Chris Sale for the Red Sox, Bruce Zimmerman for the Orioles, who hasn't been in this rotation for a while now. Boston minus 280. Road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. Disappointing weekend for the Red Sox against the Yankees. So all of a sudden, they're the second wild card, Boston. The Yankees passed them for the first wild card spot. So the onus to bounce back here. But the good news is you get to bounce back against Baltimore. And, probably a chance Boston's able to do that here. They swept Baltimore at Fenway just about 10 days ago. We'll see how they fare here in this one. Chris Sale on the mound. He's been very good. You look at his last few starts, other than one rough outing against Tampa, his other starts since rejoining this rotation lately, 2 runs or less in every single start besides that one. So in 6 of his 7 starts since rejoining the rotation for Boston, he's allowed just 2 runs or less. And that Tampa game is the only one he's lost. He is 6-1 in the 7 starts that he's made with the Boston Red Sox since rejoining the rotation. You got Bruce Zimmerman on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles, a guy that hasn't pitched at all from a rotation perspective all season. And he's been out since June with tendinitis in the biceps and a right ankle sprain. So he's been a couple of different injuries that he's been dealing with since the summer. He made a rehab start in AAA last week, 2 runs, 4 hits, 4 innings. Did strike out 6. I mean, that's pretty good to see that. The strikeout numbers were there. The swing and miss was there. But, am I ready to back him in the Orioles? No. Obviously against a Boston team with everything to play for. But again, I stress this. You're laying a premium. It's minus 280, and must win doesn't always equal will win. I mean, they should. Sale's been good other than that one start against Tampa. They're 6-1 with him on the mound. But am I rushing to lay the price? No. It's a pass for me. Boston should win. I expect them to win, but I'm just going to stay off. Not much value with the Boston side. What do you think here, Connor Mack? Boston, Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it with the Orioles. I just don't know if I can get there. Red Sox, how are they going to come out? I mean, obviously it's a must win, like you talked about. Sale's on the mound, but on the road, laying this 260, 270, it's just a stay off for me. I guess you could look at their team total. I look at the Orioles might get a few runs off them. You know, Mancini's hit him good. Hayes is 2 for 8 with a couple homers. Maybe I get there with their team total. I'm not sure, but the Red Sox, that series with the Yankees, they really blew it. You know, get their ass whipped at home by the Yankees. So they need every win here. So I'm just probably going to stay off in the end.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. And I always tell people, final week of the season, to say pass, that might be the best decision you make, in some of these games. There's no doubt. Pick your spots, these last few days. Like I am in this game, Yankees and Blue Jays. It is a big game, and I don't always, bet the game that's obviously a big pivotal game. But I do think there's opportunity here in this game, Yankees, Blue Jays. Toronto minus 125, home favorites, 9 the total in this one. Obviously, this is probably the biggest series, the game of the night, biggest series of the night. You're talking about the Yankees having the first wild card, the Blue Jays just a couple of games behind them. So, and if you're the Blue Jays, you're in the position where you've got to at least probably take 2 or 3 in this series. That's what you're hoping for. I mean, sweep might be asking a lot because, look, the Yankees have turned things around. In the last few games. They've won 5 in a row. They won the last 2 games in the series against the Texas Rangers last week. And then, of course, they had an impressive sweep over Boston at Fenway Park over the weekend. You've got Jameson Taillon on the mound here for the New York Yankees. This is a guy that, he's had some injury issues. We'll see how he fares here tonight. He's had an up and down season for the most part. For the New York Yankees. Let's see how he pitches here in this game for him. He's actually Canadian, so he actually might be fired up to pitch here in Toronto in this game. But you guys have been out since September 7th, right ankle, tendon injury. Let's see if he's ready to bounce back from that. 4.41 ERA. What concerns me about him, 5.4 ERA in his career against the Blue Jays. He's had a real struggle, Jameson Taillon, against the Blue Jays, and I think the Jays can do some damage against him. But you better believe in Hyunjin Ryu's current form that the Yankees can probably do some damage against him right now as well. It's just been talk about going into the shitter at the worst time of the year if you're Hyunjin Ryu. I mean, it's been dreadful for him the last 3 or 4 starts. Awful, in fact, in his recent form. They're hoping that, and look, they say he's on a short leash tonight. If he gets hit around early in the game, which has been the pattern lately for Ryu, he's been really hit early, quickly. Giving up 3, 4, 5, 6 runs in like a few innings. So the leash is probably going to be short on Ryu in this game. But, they skipped his start or they pushed it back at least. He's been out since September 18th, hoping that, he gets some rest. He has a little bit of a neck problem. They're hoping he feels a little bit better tonight, 10 days since his last start. And he has dominated the Yankees this year. I mean, that's the one thing that I get worried about. 1.88 ERA. This year in 4 starts against the Yankees. He's really tied up this Yankee lineup, Ryu, but his current form is abysmal. Not 7.21 ERA for Ryu in his last 9 starts. And again, this is one of those classic situations. We talk about these type of games to have to handicap them all year on this show. If you've been watching us all season, where what do you value more? Do you value the current form? Or do you value the past history of the pitcher against a particular team? The past history of Ryu against the Yankees is he's dominated them, shut them down repeatedly. But the current form of Hyunjin Ryu stinks right now. He's not been good for the better part of the last month. And I value the current form over the past history. I'm going to bank on tonight being Ryu struggling a little bit like he has recently. And on the flip side, I don't trust Taillon coming off the injury. He's had a bad track record against the Jays. So you put it all together, I'm on the over here with the Yankees and the Blue Jays tonight. Over 9. I know he's dominated the Yanks in the past, but there's nothing good that I've seen from Hyunjin Ryu for about a month now. And I'm just not ready to say, hey, it's all of a sudden going to be good and fine and dandy again for Ryu just because he's facing a team he's shut down throughout the season. Not in his current form he has. I think they'll see some runs both ways tonight. Not involved in the side. I think you can make a case for either team because I don't trust either pitcher. So I think it's a flip of a coin who wins this game, to be honest. But I like Yankees Jays over 9 tonight. Just stick with runs that both of these lineups can have success against 2 pitchers I don't trust tonight. What do you think, Conor Mack? Yankees, Blue Jays?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play this one because I think it's kind of a coin flip, like you're talking about. Ryu has been horrible these last 2 starts, and kind of the second half of the year He had a good start at Detroit, and then that one against the Yankees September 6th. Other than that, every start it seems like he's given up just about 3 or more. He's gotten ripped. So, but he does kind of have the Yankees number. Some of these Yankees hit him and hit the long ball off him, but throughout the year the Yankees didn't hit lefties. Initially, I want to be on the Yankees, the plus 110. They're the hotter team, and I just at this price, Jays I don't think should even be laying 120. I just think it should be even this game. I'd also look at the Yankees team total, but I haven't really took that team total all year, and they've struggled to get there. I know they've scored runs lately. Maybe this over 4.5 at plus 100 is solid too. I'm looking at that, but I'd only be on the Yanks in some way in this one.
All right, we got that's Series 1A in terms of the big games on the docket tonight.
Real quick about that, real fast, I think they'll remember they swept the Yankees, right, in New York. What was that, 2 weeks ago or whatever that was?
Yeah, that was ugly.
I think the Yankees will remember that.
Them. It was embarrassing how much
embarrassing. So I think
the Yankees,
Yankees might remember it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the Yankees are, and look, they've had a nice little run. I mean, it's little. I mean, they're 2 against a bad Texas team, but still to go into Boston and sweep the Red Sox was very well done by the Yankees. Yeah, I'm not laying it with Toronto tonight. That's for sure. Not with Ryu. I guess I'd lean Yankees too, but I'm just going to stick to runs being scored in this game because I think that's what we're going to end up seeing between these two. That's Series 1A in terms of big series on the docket tonight. The other one is Philly and Atlanta. You got a 2.5 game separation between these two teams in the NL East. So for the Phillies got to think win 2 of 3 at least, if not sweep the Braves. That's where their mindset has to be. Philadelphia. They've got to almost sweep this series to give themselves a very real chance in this one because that's all that they've got. I mean, they almost can't afford to drop a game here going into this one. We've got Wheeler in the sky, keeps on turning. Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. We've got Charlie Old Man Morton for Atlanta. The Braves minus 120 home favorites. 7.5 the total in this game. It's a really, really tough game because the Phillies this is an absolute must for them. Wheeler has been pitching outstanding in his last 4 starts. He's given up 3 runs in his last 23 innings of baseball over the last 4 starts. And the Phillies are now 5-0 in his last 5 starts. He's been excellent. There's nothing else you can say about it. Zach Wheeler's been just dynamite for the Phillies the last 4 or 5 starts. And look, Morton's been pretty rock solid himself. Unfortunately, Atlanta's lost each of his last 3 starts, and really he's pitched well enough to win those 3 starts. He's given up 3 runs or fewer in 5 straight trips to the hill, Charlie Morton. But the run support just hasn't always been there, especially, the San Francisco game. He gave up 2 runs. They lose 2-0 in that game. So it's been a little bit of a hard luck situation for Charlie Morton going into this game. I don't know if I'll bet this one, but I would only look Phillies, first 5 full game. They've got to win it. Wheeler's form is borderline lights out right now, the way he's pitched the last 5 outings for the Phillies. They've got to have this game. Morton this year against the Phillies is only 2-2. You have to keep that in mind. So, win one, lose one. He's had a couple of really good starts against the Phillies, and then he had one where he got really roughed up. And oddly enough, it came here in Atlanta, where he had that bad start against Phillies, 6 runs and didn't even last the first inning in that game. Whereas you look at Wheeler against the Atlanta Braves, 4 starts this year. Phillies have won 3 of them, shut them out in 7 innings April 3rd, 3 runs, 4.2 innings April 9th, shut him out in 8 innings on June the 10th, and then July 23rd, Wheeler, a 1-run, 7-inning performance against the Braves, and they win that game. He's really done well against the Braves. He's in great form right now. For me, it would be Phillies' first 5 full game split if I'm betting it. What do you think, Conor Mack?
Yeah, Wheeler has been better as of late and against the Braves all year. Morton, who went in that stretch of really pitching well, is hanging in there. I'm looking at this one. I don't trust the Phillies' pen. This game could stay under if they pitch well. But I'm going to lean with the Braves. I think they win here. They close it out. I just don't know if I want to go first 5 or I'm going to probably just go full game. And I might not mess with the total because I think this could be a pitcher's duel where there could be runs. You talked about it. Both these pitchers have got hit. And the only Braves that really hit guy that hits Wheeler is Freeman. He's 20 for 45 with 2 home runs. He owns him. So, yeah, could be a pitcher's duel, but I'm going to lean with the Braves. I think they're the better team with the better bullpen right now.
Kevin DeFreitas, $6.99 dono. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. You've done definitely donated before, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in. So definitely interesting to see how this goes here in this one. There is no maid in my house, not applicable. We're not that rich just yet. I got to clean up my own messes, so it's the way it is. I wish I had a maid vacuuming my place, but that's not the case, unfortunately. I got to clean up my own mess, my own filth. That's the way it works. All right. Next up, we've got, as we continue along here, we've got the Tigers and the Twins. Tyler Alexander and Charlie Barnes, the pitching matchup in this one. Actually, no, it's Tyler Alexander and pitcher to be determined for the Twins. They haven't decided yet, so we'll see how this goes. It looks like I'm just going to confirm. Yeah, it was expected. I think Charlie Barnes might be the primary, but they're probably going to have someone opening. That's probably what's going to end up happening here. We got right now, it looks like Minnesota was going to open -120, -130 favorites, or -190 in some spots. So 9.5 the total. We'll have to wait and see who's on the mound here for the Twins. But Alexander, 4.10 ERA for the Tigers going into this matchup tonight. Just when you look at the way these two teams have played, two teams that have been out of it for a while, we know the Tigers have been feisty, for a large part of the second half. And even the Twins have been as well. Like, the Twins have not been one of those teams where they've, given up and stopped trying to win games. I mean, they've tried to finish out the season strong, even though it's been a disappointing one. So overall, this is probably a game I wouldn't have bet even if had I known the pitching matchup. But now we don't know who's on the mound for the Twins. Probably even more of a reason to stay away. And like I said, these are two teams that have been capable of winning games, even though they haven't been playing for much for a long period of time now. Conor, any thoughts? Tigers, Twins?
Yeah, I've been on the Twins a lot lately, and they've been good to me. If it's Barnes a little bit, I like Detroit, kind of against the lefty with plus money. But I'm probably going to stay off. These guys could get hit. It could go over, but I'm probably not going to get involved at all.
All right. Next up, we've got, as we continue along, it is let me just see here. Oh, Miami Mets, Marlins and Mets. We talked about that already. So we'll skip to Milwaukee and St. Louis. Brandon Woodruff, Adam Wainwright, the pitching matchup here. We've got Milwaukee -115 to -120. Road favorites here at Busch Stadium. The total in this one is 7, just shaded to the over a little bit going into this game between the Brewers and the Cardinals. And what can you say about the St. Louis Cardinals? One win away from clinching the second wild card spot in the National League, which they can do tonight. A team record 16-game winning streak for this team. I mean, do you even have to listen to me for the next 30 seconds or a minute to know if I'm betting this game, what side I'm looking at? I mean, my goodness, do we really have to guess? St. Louis, of course. You know it. I don't need to say much more. St. Louis, of course. They're at home. They can clinch the wild card. I think they want to get it done, in this situation here. Get it done tonight. Get it over with. They've won 16 in a row. They want to keep the streak going anyway. It's not just that they can clinch the wild card tonight. They want to keep this streak going and make it 17 in a row. And they're just finding ways to win. You don't even panic anymore when the Cardinals are trailing early in the game. In fact, they were down early in the game against Milwaukee last week when Wainwright was on the mound. He gave up a grand slam, Wainwright, in the first inning at Miller Park last week. And then they came back and they won that game 8-5. And look, I think Wainwright's going to pitch a lot better tonight. I know he gave up the grand slam at a bad first inning in Milwaukee last week against this Brewers team. But still, he has been, for the most part, terrific in the second half of the year. How many times have Conor and I, that's the problem with doing a freaking show from April to October. We repeat ourselves so much. How many times have we said Adam Wainwright at home, Adam Wainwright at home, Adam Wainwright at Busch Stadium, but he pitches well here. I know we've said it a million times because it's true. He pitches well here. 2.72 ERA at home for the veteran right-handed pitcher Adam Wainwright at Busch Stadium. 12-6 for the Cardinals in his 18 home starts. And I like Woodruff. Woodruff's had a great season. In fact, he dominated the Cardinals when he saw them last week in Milwaukee. He deserved a better fate. the Cardinals lost that, or the Brewers lost that game 2-1 to St. Louis, but Woodruff pitched well enough, 1 run in 6 innings against the Cardinals in that game. But before that, he faced them here in St. Louis, August 19th, and the Cardinals won that game 8-4, and it was one of Brandon Woodruff's worst starts of the year, giving up 6 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings when Woodruff faced the Cardinals here at Busch Stadium back in August. So bottom line is I like St. Louis here. First 5, full game split, 1 more win to clinch the second wild card. I think they do it. I think they win 17 in a row tonight, get the job done, and take care of business. So for me, Cardinals first 5, full game split. Conor Mack, Brewers, Cardinals.
Yeah, you think they want to clinch this and they could kind of take the weekend off the last few days of the year and then gear up for the, whoever it is, Dodgers or Giants. I'm with you. I mean, if you've been on the Cardinals, and I've been on most of them, I think you just continue it here. They just finding ways to win. And I like the first 5 over 3.5. I think that was last week when they played. I thought that was a good play. Obviously, Wainwright gave up the slam. He's back at home. They've seen these guys. Some of these guys have great success. The Brewers off Wainwright. And obviously, we talked about some of the guys, the Cardinals off Woodruff. So I lean the first 5 over 3.5. I don't like that tons of times. And it could be, they could pitch well. But it's too low for me here at 3.5. So I lean that way. And even the full game a little bit, the way these guys, these teams have seen each other so much the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I'm a Cardinals there, and I might play that first 5 over 3.5.
Yeah, and to make matters even better for St. Louis going into this game is that Milwaukee officially clinched the NL Central division on Sunday. So for the Brewers clinched the NL Central on Sunday. There's absolutely nothing at stake for them, nothing at all. These last 6 days of the regular season, they're locked into their seed. They know what's going to happen. They know they're going to obviously end up facing one of the teams that wins in the wild card in the division round. So there's really not a whole lot for Craig Counsell's team to play for down the stretch. So that's what makes this even better. Cardinals are rolling. They're on the run. Now, I know St. Louis swept Milwaukee, and we talked about that with the Jays Yankees. Maybe the Yankees want redemption. I don't think the Brewers want redemption that much. I mean, they've just got nothing at stake here in this game. And by the way, some people said that about Seattle.
They just need to be healthy. Yeah.
That Seattle swept Oakland last week, swept the Athletics in Oakland, and that Oakland was going to be hell-bent on revenge and returning the favor and payback starting last night in Seattle. How did that work out? Not very well, as the A's got buried in that game. They actually got off to a nice start, and then they got buried after that by the Mariners last night. So be careful. Revenge is overblown in every sport, and we're already seeing it in baseball, too. It's overblown. St. Louis, I think, gets the job done. They swept Milwaukee last week, and I think you'll see them get it done tonight. All right, Angels and Rangers, Packy Naughton, A.J. Alexy, the matchup. We've got even money both sides, 9 the total here in this game between these two teams. Again, you got 2 teams out of it. Pick 'em price. It feels like I should just stay off because you got, again, 2 teams with not a whole lot to play for. It's not like either one's played great. The Rangers are just 3-7 their last 10 games. The Angels are worse. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. So neither one of these teams is playing well right now, playing inspired baseball. Neither one down the stretch of this disappointing season for both of them. You look at the pitchers, Alexy's kind of gone downhill in his last few starts. His ERA has ballooned up to 5 after starting out strong. Packy Naughton's got a 5.23 ERA. So to me, you take a look at the over if you can trust these offenses, because these are 2 pitchers I don't trust. But then you start to look at what they've done offensively, and it's been a little bit hit or miss. I mean, the Rangers, they've been held to 3 runs or less, the Rangers, in 6 of their last 8 games. Hard to trust their offense. The Angels at times have been hit or miss offensively, although they've been a little bit better lately. Bottom line is, if I had to get involved in this game, and I don't think I will get involved, but if I had to, it would be the over or nothing, probably. What do you think, Conor Mack? Angels, Rangers?
Yeah, I want nothing to do with this game either. This is just one, I think, unless you got something, on it, I would stay far away from it. I'd be on the other side because I don't trust the offenses here. I know Naughton's not that great, and Alexy pitched well early. He hasn't the last few, but I think 9's a little too much. I don't trust either offense, so I'd be on the under 9 in this one full game.
All right, next up, we've got Reds and White Sox. Riley, O'Brien, on the mound here for the Reds, and it's Ronaldo Lopez for the White Sox. Currently, we see the White Sox minus 175 home favorites, 9 the total in this game. The Reds are just not a team I'm looking to back. I've said that for a very long time now. That it's obviously they've fallen all the way out of it. They're not going to make the wild card. St. Louis is getting the wild card. It's just a question of if they clinch tonight. Do they clinch tomorrow? Do they clinch Thursday? They are clinching. It's just a question of when, not if. Reds are done. Although the Reds have put a little something together. They've won 4 in a row after that bad stretch. They took the last 3 against Washington over the weekend at Great American, and then they took care of business yesterday against Pittsburgh in a makeup game, 13-1. We'll see now how they fare here in Chicago. The White Sox don't have a whole lot at stake here down the stretch, but they've been basically going back and forth with wins and losses for the most part during their last 7 or 8 games. But for the White Sox, I think they've now all of a sudden, at one point it was looking like, they're locked in to this number 3 divisional winner in the American League. That's not true. They're now 2.5 behind Houston, and they could still pull into the number 2 seed in the American League. Obviously, we know Tampa Bay, they're going to be the number 1 seed. Houston's number 2 right now. White Sox are only 2.5 back. I don't know how much that matters to them in the grand scheme of things, but it's something that could leave the door open for effort, for a will to win, a reason, an incentive to win here in these next few games for the White Sox. Now that they've pulled to within 2.5 games of Houston for the 2nd seed in the American League. And of course, if you move up from the 3 seed to the 2 seed, all of a sudden, if you're in the ALCS, there's only one team that's going to have home field advantage in that series instead of you, and that's the number 1 seed. So there is reason to want to try to aim for that number 2 seed if you're the Chicago White Sox in the next few days, now that you're closing in on Houston. It's going to be tough because Houston still has a 2.5 game lead with only 5 or 6 games left in the year, but it's something for the White Sox to play for. Can you trust Ronaldo Lopez is the question, because 3.16 ERA, but he's been kind of up and down of late for the White Sox. Riley O'Brien doesn't have much of a track record here for the Reds. It's a guy that's a very highly thought of prospect, not highly thought of, but he's someone that's been in the Reds for a while. Yeah. But it doesn't look like he's seasoned yet. And if he was good, I think because of their pitching issues all year, the Reds, you would have seen him earlier. And then you look at his numbers in Louisville this year, Connor, AAA, 4.55 ERA for Riley O'Brien down there at the AAA level, which isn't great by any stretch of the imagination. So it's probably a White Sox victory. I don't know if I'd lay the price. I don't know if I trust Lopez to even take the -0.5 a run first 5. So I'm going to end up passing just a lean to the White Sox first 5 -0.5. What do you think, Connor Mack?
Yeah, this line's too big on the White Sox, I think. This is when the Reds, look at them. As soon as they're out of it, they win like 4 or 5 straight. It sounds like the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like the Reds to me. So I kind of like them at this plus price. I've been looking at it. I might go with them today. And I'd only look over. O'Brien's gotten hit around in AAA. Like I said, he moved up quick, but this whole year in AAA, 4.55, like he talked about. And Lopez, who's been pretty good all year, he'll probably only go 4 innings. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. So I don't think I'll go with the total, but I think I'll take the Reds here with the shot, plus 160.
Yeah, it's what they do, right? It seems like the moment that they knew, hey, we're not catching St. Louis, let's start winning games, boys. Yeah.
No more stress. They're just, we'll start winning. Yep.
Right, good stuff. Good to see Clint McLean, Die Hard MMA podcast. Watch that show Monday nights right here on Pub Sports Radio. Great MMA analysis right there with him on that show. So check that out. Thanks for joining us in the chat. And everybody in the chat, 126 live viewers, hit the like button. Make sure you do that before the show wraps up. We got Cleveland and Kansas City next game. Aaron Savale for the Cleveland side. Brady Singer for the Royals. Kansas City -120. Home favorites here. The total 9 shaded to the under in this game. Cleveland, when you look at Savale over the course of the year, started out the season strong, but boy, he's had a little bit of a rough patch, to say the least, the last few outings for Savale, especially last time out against the White Sox. Not sure what that was, but he gave up 7 runs in 1.2 innings, pitched good before that against the Yankees, which was surprising. And then before that, roughed up again, 7 runs, 3 innings against Milwaukee. So 2 of his last 3 starts have been absolutely brutal for Aaron Savali here for the Cleveland baseball team. We'll see if he can bounce back here. He faced the Royals way back in May, 3 runs, 5.2 innings. Okay start, but not great. Brady Singer is just a guy that's had some good outings, and then he's had some bad ones as well this year. A bit of a mixed bag. 2 starts against Cleveland, 5 runs and on 12.2 innings. He actually pitched not bad head-to-head against Cleveland this year. Savali in tough form. But you're talking about Brady Singer and a 4.7 ERA at home and a 6-8 record for Kansas City, and Singer's 14 home starts this year. I mean, you're talking about laying a price with a guy that's got the team has a 6-8 record with him on the mound at home this year, Singer, and you got to lay minus 120. So I guess if I had to, I'd lean Cleveland, but it's not as a game I'm probably going to touch. What do you think here, Connor, Matt? Cleveland, Kansas City.
You nailed it right there with Singer. I mean, he's laying that big of an ERA, and they're minus 125 here or whatever. Savali, this guy's up and down since right before he left, was out for a while. Same thing. He seemed like he gave up 4 or 5 nothing, 4-1, and since he's got back, it's been the same thing. I can't trust him. So either I had a free bet, I take the Indians, the plus money. I'm going to stay off.
All right, we have got Tampa Bay and Houston. Could this be a World Series preview? You never know. We've got Michael Wacha Flocka Flame for the Rays, Jose Urquidy for the Astros, Houston minus 130 to minus 140. Home favorites in this game. The total right now 9 across the board. For Houston, this is a bounce back for them. They got to right the ship. That was a pretty rough series for them on the weekend against Oakland. And now they've lost 4 in a row entering this game. So they will be looking to bounce back strong in this one. There's probably a good chance they do against Wacha. Wacha's not someone I certainly trust. He had 3 starts in a row actually where he had pitched better, and then back to the old Michael Wacha, struggling, giving up the long ball. In his last start against Toronto, he gave up 6 runs, 7 hits in 6 innings in that game. Urquidy on the mound for the Astros. Last start wasn't really smooth for him. 4 runs, 6 hits, 5.1 innings in his last start. His home numbers, though, overall this year are pretty good, 3.15 ERA. By the way, here's something to note, and it's worth noting. These 2 pitchers combined, the over is 23-11 this season to the over in these 2 when these 2 pitchers are on the mound, Wacha and Urquidy. In fact, Wacha's road starts, the over is 8-2. Urquidy's home starts for the Astros, the over is 7-1. All right, so I'm going to just ride the trends here. Rather than bet aside, I think Houston's probably going to win, but because I trust Urquidy a little bit more. But, we're talking about minus 130 against the best team in baseball. And I know the Rays don't have a whole lot at stake here down the stretch, but, now you're finally getting a decent price now with Tampa. Now that, they're facing another good team and there's not a whole lot at stake here. But unfortunately, you're getting a good price on Tampa because Wacha's on the mound, and I just don't have the faith in him whatsoever. So for me, it would be an over bet here if I'm getting involved. Rays Astros over 9. I think the Astros bats come to life, and I think Tampa can score a little bit against Urquidy as well. So give me the over here, 9, Astros and Rays. What do you think, Connor, Matt?
Yeah, Wacha hasn't been good on the road. He had a decent start against the Orioles and a decent one against the Tigers. But in between there, it's a lot of 5s, 6s, and 4s. Seems like every start. I'm with you. I kind of lean the over. I haven't bet it. Man, I want to take the Rays. I think they're the better baseball team. I think, they're both in cruise control right now. They're just getting through the end of the year. So I can't lay it with the Astros. I think I'm just going to pass. Taking Wacha, man. You got to take Wacha. So, that's the whole thing. But I'd only take the Rays at plus money here.
Yes, and Crystal Warren's right. Astros can clinch the AL West tonight with a win over Tampa and Seattle losing to Oakland. A combination of those 2 things means that Houston will be the AL West division champions. So there's a lot. But the Tampa Bay, by the way, they just need one more win to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So there's still something to play for tonight for them. So that's why I think, both teams are going to try. Both teams are going to hit these, sometimes suspect pitchers. And that's why we get the runs tonight. So that's why I'm targeting over the total as the bet for me in this Rays and Astros game. All right, Washington, Colorado. Patrick Corbin, Kyle Freeland, battle of lefties here. Colorado minus 130, home favorites. 11.5, 12 the total. Not surprising. Always a high number when you're talking about totals at Coors Field. We'll see how this one goes. The Nationals have been surprising how good they've played down the stretch. They haven't rolled over. They gave Cincinnati a tough series over the weekend. They beat Colorado 5-4 yesterday in the series opener between these two teams. But unfortunately for them, they've got Patrick Corbin on the mound, who I don't necessarily trust on the road. And against the Rockies, I don't trust him either. He just faced them in Washington recently, gave up 6 runs on 10 hits, and lasted only 4 innings in that start. And and it's definitely not something that I fully like to see if I'm thinking of backing him in the Nats going into this game. And then you have Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Colorado Rockies, who, to be honest, early in the season struggled, then really started to pitch a lot better. He's hit a little bit of a wall again. 3 of the last 4 starts, he's struggled a little bit, Freeland, although he did have the one good start he had was coincidentally against this very Washington team, where he gave up no runs, shut him out in 6 innings. So he was on the opposing end of Patrick Corbin September 18th in Washington of that game the Rockies won 6-0. So definitely Freeland got the better of Corbin 10 days ago in Washington. Will that pattern continue here tonight? That remains to be seen, but I'm just going to end up staying off. A lot of question marks. Keep in mind, sometimes, Corbin got crushed by the Rockies 10 days ago, and Freeland pitched a gem against the Nationals 10 days ago. Sometimes that script flips a little bit when the same 2 pitchers are facing the same 2 teams just a week or 2 weeks later. So that concerns me a bit. So for that reason, I'm going to end up staying off this game altogether. Conor Mack, Washington, Colorado.
Yeah, I think there could be runs in this one. Normally with the lefty, I take the Nats team total automatic. I mean, it is 5.5 minus 115. It still could get there, but these Rockies have hit Corbin pretty hard. If you look through the numbers, Van's 4 for 6, 3 for 6, 2 for 6, 3 for 9. Story's 8 for 27 with 2 homers, and Blackman 13 for 45 with a homer. I lean the Rockies here. I know they're at home. This is where they're good. It's I have right around minus 125. I don't know if I want to go first 5 full game, but I'm looking at the Rockies. Yeah.
All right, looking at the Rockies. And now it comes the time for the 7th inning stretch. It has arrived. We're down to our West Coast games. I feel always that feels good. Welcome into everybody in the chat again. We appreciate it. 154 live viewers. Hit the like button. Not applicable, Brian Watson. Yes, there is a CFL game tonight. You can only back Edmonton in that CFL game tonight. Ottawa is 0-5 straight up, 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games. They've lost to the point spread by, I don't know, something like 50, 60 points. They're that bad. All right, my Ticats went into Ottawa last week with a 3rd-string quarterback, David Watford. There was no Dane Evans. There was no Jeremiah Masoli. They had Dominique Davis, who stinks, quarterback for them last week in that game. And now they're going to go to Caleb Evans tonight. Are you kidding me? Caleb Evans is going to be the Ottawa Red Blacks quarterback in that CFL game tonight. UL Monroe, is where he played a few years ago. That's where they're at with quarterbacks now. We're going to go to some mediocre ragtag Sunbelt quarterback from a few years ago. He's never played in the CFL before. So, you could. I think they're unbackable personally. There's some teams that are unbackable. Detroit, I shouldn't say Detroit Lions. They covered over the weekend, but there are some teams that are just so bad that they're unbackable. Jacksonville, for instance, I guess that would be the team in the NFL. They're almost unbackable right now. You're just seeing not much progress from them. That's Ottawa right now in the CFL. So there you go. There's a little CFL opinion for me on that game tonight. It's an ugly one. Edmonton Elks, Ottawa Red Blacks. Brian Watson, not applicable. Abel Alvarez, Michael Knuckles, Jefferson C., Robert Cherry, PRS full, Sean Thompson, Olu, Lit Picks, Kevin, who gave us the dono, Batty Chiller, we appreciate it. Someone in the chat from Twitch, which is good because we're now doing this show on Twitch as well. Daily, twitch.tv/pubsportsradio. So make sure you check that out as well. Sharpie, who is, of course, going to be with us on Friday. Looking forward to that. He's done a great job all year with baseball, strikeout props especially. He's been on point with those. Sean Thompson, Oz B, Jay Peasy, Crystal Warren, Brian Dance, Anthony Velez, Whack Prescott. Hey, no Whack Prescott last night. He was very good for the Dallas Cowboys in that game. Great. That team's good. That team can play
they
a
played
little
well.
defense the rest of the year. Connor Mack. That's going to be. They could have a good year, believe it or not, if they can play some
They
kind
stay
of
healthy and
Yep.
play defense. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we'll see. It's early, but yeah, they looked good last night.
Yeah, they sure did. Ouroboros. There you go. Jefferson C. Billy Pilgrim. It's a good chat. The chat's popping today. Kenny V. Look at how I'm scrolling, and there's still names coming up. Steve's Book, Mike Campbell, Ralph Bryant, Alex Van Hooser, Streamlabs. There you go. Brian Dance. There you go. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. 154 live viewers. Hit the like button. By the way, the Edmonton quarterback in that CFL game tonight, it's not like we trust him a ton. It's Taylor Cornelius, played for Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But at least he has a start under his belt. He played 2 weeks ago against the best defense in the CFL, Winnipeg. Kind of struggled, but they were only outgained by a yard. Now he's off a bye week, so he's got extra time to learn the offense, get comfortable, and at least he had a start against a really good defense, Winnipeg. So I know he's not got much CFL experience either, Cornelius, but man, it's better than the Ottawa quarterback situation. Caleb Evans hasn't even had a snap in the CFL in his life. So they're definitely the two very shaky quarterback situations, but you still got to take the Edmonton quarterback situation over the Ottawa one, in my opinion. All right, we'll move on now back to baseball. We got 3 games left. Arizona, San Francisco. Luke Weaver, Logan Webb, the pitching matchup. We got Webb and the Giants, minus 250, home favorites, 7.5, 8 the total in this game. I'm not necessarily rushing to back the Giants here. Obviously, I'm not going to take Arizona, but the reason is Logan Webb concerned me in his last start against San Diego. Like, he was all over the place. He was missing the plate. His walks and his command and control was off a little bit. And actually, 2 of his last 3 starts, he's had a tougher time, Logan Webb. So is he hitting a wall a little bit? Potentially. It does concern me just a bit. Obviously, Luke Weaver's not been good. His last 2 starts, he's given up 9 runs in 10.2 innings against the Braves and the Dodgers. So he's really struggled. Luke Weaver. Giants should win the game, but for someone like Logan Webb, who's kind of been, off the mark just a little bit, 2 of his last 3 games, that's a rich price. I know the Giants certainly everything to play for. They're trying to clinch this NL West title, and the magic number is 5. So they're closing in on it, but they got to keep winning. Every game's significant for them. Not going against the Giants, obviously. But I'm just saying it's minus 250. It's not great value, and there's enough concerns maybe with Webb from his last start to maybe pump the brakes and say, maybe we're not going to lay this price with San Francisco tonight. If you want to take maybe team total, that makes sense. I mean, then you don't have to worry too much about Logan Webb. It's 4.5. It's minus 130. San Francisco's team total over 4.5. I actually like that quite a bit. I might add that bet. Team total over 4.5. San Francisco Giants. Then I don't have to worry about how Logan Webb pitches tonight, or if his command it gets away from him like it did in his last start against San Diego. What do you think, Connor Mack? Arizona, San Fran.
You nailed it. I had nothing to add. I said I'm going to take their team total and not worry about him. I think they get to Weaver. If not, that horrible D-backs bullpen. So I like the team total over 4.5. Even the game in 8's got me interested, but I don't know if I get there. But team total for sure, 4.5.
Yeah, G. Martinez is right. His home ERA has been terrific. There's no denying that. And really, the 2 starts where he struggled were both on the road. Wrigley Field, Chicago, and, of course, Petco in his last start. But, yeah, you get him at home. 2 runs against Atlanta, 7 innings. 1 run, 7 innings against Milwaukee at home. 2 runs, 7.1 innings against the Mets at home. Shut out the Rockies, 7-0 at home. You're right. Here in this ballpark in San Francisco, he's been lights out. The ERA is 1.76 for Logan Webb, 10-0 in his 10 home starts this year. So that's the thing. I mean, Webb keeps the ball in the yard because of that ballpark, and that's why he pitches so well here. So I probably a chance he bounces back, but I'm going to play it safe, though, and go team total instead, over 4.5 here. In this one. All right. We continue along now. We go from the Giants to Oakland and Seattle. Chris Bassett on the mound for the Athletics, Tyler Anderson, the lefty for Seattle. Oakland minus 115, road favorites, 8 the total in this one. And here's Oakland needing to win at pretty much every game in this series to even have a chance. And they get off to the 3-0 start. Big home run early in the game against Flexen. They think, hey, maybe we're going to win this game. Maybe give ourselves some hope, maybe to stay alive in the postseason. And the roof caves in on Oakland by the 4th inning, and they're trailing, and they basically are. Seattle never looks back from that point on. It was a light baseball card, but we had consensus. Ski, Conor, me on the Seattle side yesterday, and the Mariners got the job done 13-4, whipping the Athletics when it was all said and done. Just dominant. I mean, the Seattle Mariners have single-handedly destroyed Oakland's playoff hopes these last 2 weeks. Single-handedly.
Yeah.
The sweep last week, they come back and they win last night. There's no way I'm back in Oakland. I said that yesterday. I'm not doing that. This team is feeling it. And now the injuries are mounting. Jed Lowry on the injured list. Starling Marte got a wonky back. Left the last game with back soreness and may not be in there tonight. Elvis Andrus is probably not coming back this year, the shortstop with a leg injury. So now the injuries are mounting. The team realizes reality's sinking in. We're not going to be in the postseason, which I know is disappointing because they've been a playoff team multiple years, the last few. Bassett on the mound only went 3 innings in his return following that scary line drive that he took in the White Sox game back in August. Came back September 23rd, only went 3 innings, but shut out the Mariners and allowed just 1 hit. Pretty solid outing. We'll see if maybe they give him a little bit of a longer leash here in this one. Tyler Anderson on the mound for the Mariners. He got absolutely steamrolled by the Angels. The last time he was on the mound 3 days ago, 9 runs, 2 innings, and now somehow he's pitching again, although he'll be on a very, very short pitch count because he pitched 3 days ago. I don't like that necessarily. Tyler Anderson pitched 3 days ago. He's off routine. He's off rhythm. I don't know if that's a situation where I want to back him. So it's a pass for me in this game. I did like Seattle last night. I would only take Seattle again tonight, but I don't like the situation with Anderson. And even though Oakland, you'd think they're down and out, I think, rally the troops for Bassett. I mean, considering, what he went through, maybe win one for the Gipper, so to speak. They show up to the win tonight for Bassett. That's kind of for almost like that could have been scary. We're talking about losing an eye.
Oh yeah,
losing eyesight. Maybe brain damage for the rest of your life. I don't want to say the D word, death, but you never know. Like that's how scary that line drive he took on the mound against the White Sox was for him. So, I think there could be a rally the troops thing potentially for Oakland tonight, but certainly wouldn't be enough for me to want to back them. Lean Seattle, but I'm going to stay off the game. Conor, what do you think? Oakland, Seattle.
I lean Seattle too, and I might take him here. I know Anderson got lit up his last time out, but I think he could be better. They just saw Bassett. You talked about it. The 23rd went 3 innings, might go a little bit longer. But they've hit him, throughout the year. July 24th at Seattle, 5 innings, 4 runs. Some guys hit him. That guy Ty France went 4 for 4. No Jack, of course, yesterday, but he's 4 for 9. Mitch Haniger's hitting the ball. He's 4 for 6 with 2 homers off Bassett. 2 guys I'd take again for Jack of the Day. These guys are just hot right now, and I'd only be on the Mariners.
And our final game, the LA Dodgers hosting the San Diego Padres. We've got Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres and Buehler for the LA Dodgers. Dodgers minus 190, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. Dodgers, every game's a must for them. They're going to be a playoff team, obviously, but I mean, a must for the NL West. They just got to win out and hope they get some loss here or there from San Francisco, which is not going to be easy to expect losses for San Francisco, considering, they're playing lowly Arizona, for the next few games in this series. But, the Dodgers got to try to at least keep their faint hopes to win the division alive and beat the Padres tonight. Something you would think they'll be able to do. San Diego's just been an awful second half of the year. Jay Stingler's done. You're not seeing a whole lot of pushback from this team. When things go wrong in a game and get away from them, there's not a whole lot of pushback or fight back in this Padres team down the stretch. Look at the Atlanta series. I cashed with Atlanta in all 3 games, Conor. I didn't bet a ton of baseball last weekend, But one of the things I did was
Yeah,
take
that was.
every single game against San Diego, and I was shocked that Atlanta was, minus 125, minus 130, minus 115 in so many of these games. Hell, they were an underdog, in the game on Sunday against the Padres. And somehow Atlanta was an underdog in that game to San Diego. I couldn't believe it. I mean, is anybody watching these two teams right now? Atlanta's trying to win a division. San Diego's been crapping the bed, for a month or two. How the hell were the Braves an underdog Sunday? I get it. It was Chavez, a spot starter for Atlanta against Musgrove, who's capable. But come on, if we're betting Major League Baseball in late September based on the starting pitching matchup, you can't see the forest from the trees, if that's the case. It's just not the way you go about it. I mean, it's about form. It's about who's playing hard, who's playing well, who's checking out mentally, who's not playing well. And guess what? Atlanta's playing hard, playing well, trying to win a division, likely to make the playoffs, and San Diego can't get out of their own way. And yet Atlanta was a dog Sunday. Figure that one out. But nevertheless, I digress. San Diego's not a team I'm backing. I want no part of them. I've said that for weeks. And that remains the case here. Just a question of, do you want to find some kind of value to back the Dodgers? Do you get creative? Do you go first 5 minus a half? Do you go run line? Do you go Dodgers team total over? That's your call. I'm just going to opt to stay out of it entirely, but I'll tell you what, I would not be interested in San Diego. I haven't been interested in backing them for a month now, not interested in them now or for this final week of the year either. Conor, Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you get creative. Take the Dodgers team totals 4.5. I think it's plus 105. It's plus money or first 5. This is a massive start for Buehler. He gave up 6 at San Francisco. He came back, gave up 2 in 7 innings, to the Padres. And then the Reds, 6-3 innings. Then he gave up 5 at Colorado. He needs to pitch well, because he hasn't been pitching the baseball well, which all year long, his start was go 6 or 7. He only give up 2 every night. So I want to see him pitch well. Darvish has been okay. He pitched a little bit better lately, but I don't trust him. So it'd be Dodgers somehow. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I don't know if I want to take their team total or take them first 5 half a run.
I'll lean to the first 5 minus a half, minus 120, Dodgers, and the full game. I'd basically do a first 5 run line minus a half, a full game run line minus 1.5, plus 110 split. That's probably what I would do if I was going to bet this game. Just a split. First 5 run line, full game run line on the LA Dodgers. All right, great stuff, Conor, and a great job for everyone in the chat. Great comments, great interaction. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We will get to Jack of the Day. We will get to best bets as well in just a second. But first, we'll hear from our sponsors, Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, make sure you get there for great food, great drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, great bar, pub atmosphere. Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Manscaped promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase using that promo code. Lawnmower 4.0 and any Manscaped product, get 20% off with the promo code PubSports. And mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Football season well underway for a month now. And then we've got basketball. We got hockey right around the corner, NHL, NBA. Looking forward to that. Sign up for an account at mybookie.ag so you can get involved in all of these sports that are about to converge at the same time. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Just some programming reminders. Bebsy in the bag, beat the line, NFL. tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Pub Sports Radio. They'll break down the entire week 4. I can't believe it's week 4 already. Wow. Of the NFL season. Every single game. Jimmy the Bag, Rob Bebenick, tune in tonight for that. We've got, of course, we're going to have Razor Sharp tomorrow night with horse streams. We're going to have, of course, football streams, UFC streams. We're going to have my Football Frenzy show Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, CFL, NFL talk there. Lots going on the channel. Like I said, Clint with the MMA podcast Monday nights. We've got Ghoster giving us some golf stuff as well. I mean, it's everything on the channel. Make sure you check it all. We got DFS fantasy shows as well with Billy and crew. Sharpie's involved in that. Sharpie will be with us Friday on the MLB closing time show as always. We got Jose on the baseball show with us tomorrow and Thursday. So all of that and more coming up this week and beyond on Pub
and
Sports
cop the
Radio.
Pub Sports Radio merch real quick.
Yes.
Right below on YouTube, you can see it. Shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, socks, all that good shit. Support us. Get some Pub Sports Radio merch.
Yeah, again, gear up for fall and winter. That's the clothing now that's being featured in the merch is basically, the warmer weather clothing, or the colder weather, I should say, clothing. So make sure you check that out. Rodney, I wish I could help you with preseason NHL. Yeah, I'm a big-time hockey fan, hockey better, but my hockey betting starts in the regular season. I don't do much with the preseason. I do watch a game or two here and there, but I'm not perusing for lineup information or any of that. There are some opportunities here and there, but I find, for me at least, the NFL is the only sport where I've really, really done well and had legitimate edges in the preseason when it comes to it. I mean, NHL, you can find them here and there, but those of you that put in the work, though, and bet preseason. I know our own Birdie, who's in the chat a lot, tunes in on a lot of the Pub Sports Radio shows. He's been betting preseason NHL. He's done well so far. So props to him. It's just I'm already swamped doing shows, writing articles, capping cards, doing football, NFL, and college, because I start my work for that early in the week because of doing the Monday show with Conor and Grant, so I can be ready to do that show. It just leaves little time to do preseason hockey, unfortunately. But good luck, Rodney. I wish I could help you, but can't, unfortunately. But good luck if you bet anything with NHL preseason. We're going to have some NHL stuff on Pub Sports Radio coming up in a couple weeks as well. We will announce that shortly. But we're looking forward to having some NHL, like some actual show content. I know I've done the NHL Play of the Day videos on this channel the last couple of years, but we're going to do some kind of either pre-recorded or live show format, like a best bets type of show. We're looking forward to that, and we'll announce that very soon. We're just hammering out the details right now.
Yeah, hopefully we could have like a best bet or go over the games, and plus Jimmy will continue to have NHL on his show too. Yep. So we just wanted to get a little extra one maybe later in the day. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. So to be determined on that. But yeah, we'll have something in terms of either an actual show, like a 20 to 30 minute show. It'll be daily, and it'll be like best bets. The best bets only. It won't be every, because look, I've said this to a lot of people. Hockey we love. I love hockey. Conor loves hockey. There's a lot of people that love hockey, watching it, betting it. It's just not going to attract the viewership that football shows do, basketball shows do on this channel or any other channel. So for that reason, we're keeping it a little shorter, just doing, our top plays, best bets on the hockey show we end up doing instead of every single game analysis like we do for baseball and for college football and some of the other sports. But we will have hockey for sure. Anybody that knows me and Conor knows we love hockey for sure. And Jimmy the Bag, like we said, on Betting with the Bag, when he does that show Tuesday to Friday, he'll breaking down the NHL card every day on his show, just like he does every other sport. So hockey will be covered on this channel. Make no mistake about that. All right, speaking of coverage, we're going to have some Jack of the Day coverage coming up right now.
Well, see you later.
All right, good stuff here. It is time for Jack of the Day. Let's see what we've got here in terms of Jack of the Day candidates for tonight. There are a few that stuck out to me when I look at it. Brian Reynolds against Alec Mills, worth a look. Ian Happ against Mitch Keller, one on each side in that Cubs-Pirates game where I think we'll see runs scored. I think you can go in those two directions for Jack of the Day. Home runs for Martinez, Devers, and Renfroe against Zimmerman. So you could go in that direction for Jack of the Day. Simeon owns Taillon with 2 home runs. Vlad and Teoscar Hernandez have a home run against Taillon as well. Gary Sanchez has 3 against Ryu. Judge has a home run against Ryu. Rizzo as well, and Rizzo 5 for 14 against Ryu. So there's a few in that Yankee Blue Jays game I would look at as well. Those guys I just mentioned. It's tough because Zach Wheeler's been dominant, almost unhittable, but Freddie Freeman 20 for 45 and 2 home runs against him in the past. That's kind of hard to ignore, the success for Freddie Freeman against Zach Wheeler. So I might put a small bet on that one just because Wheeler's in such a good form right now. Other than that, I think that's Tyler O'Neill against Woodruff. That's the other one. I mean, 3 for 11, 3 home runs. He's done significant damage against Brandon Woodruff. Tyler O'Neill on a night the Cardinals can clinch the second NL wildcard spot. That makes sense. This is one of the better home run prop Jack of the Day betting slates I've seen in a long time. There's a lot that I like tonight, and I think I could go on, but I'll stop there. I've given you more than enough, definitely. Connor Mack, what do you like for Jack of the Day?
You mentioned Happ and Reynolds. They're right around plus 500, but Moran's plus 600. He's got a Jack as well. Good value. You mentioned Freeman. You can't go past that plus 550. Usually he's not that high. Mancini, Goldschmidt, plus 450. And last one was Dodgers, Trey Turner, 3 for 5 with a Jack. He's right around plus 500 as well, 450, 500.
All right, there we go. There's Jack of the Day. A bunch of them here for this Tuesday card. All right, it is time for best bets for this Tuesday MLB slate. Connor Mack, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
I was looking at the Giants team total. I'm going to go Cubs Pirates over 8.5. I'm just going to stick with one that just keeps hitting. I think it's low at 8.5. I think the wind's blowing out. Both these teams have, hit these pitchers, and I don't trust them. So give me Cubs Pirates over 8.5. All
right, Cubs Pirates over 8.5. Best bet here for Connor Mack. Mine's St. Louis. Plus the 105 that's out there is the best price out there right now on the Cardinals. 16 in a row, man. They'll make it 17. Clinch that NL wild card. Wainwright at home, sub-3 ERA for him at home this year. Cardinals, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How many Cardinals? I didn't actually bet them all that much against the Cubs over the weekend because they were finally laying like minus 160 or so on the road. So I laid back a little bit in that series. But now they're back in that price range where they're even money or better. Just an automatic play for me with this team. Just they find ways to win. And I like the quotes, like guys like Andrew Knitzer, the catcher, O'Neill, Goldschmidt, they're all saying the same thing. I mean, we never give up in a game. We play right till the final out in the 9th inning. And that's why they've been able to come back here in so many of these games as well. So St. Louis, I say they clinch the wild card spot tonight and get their 17th straight. St. Louis plus 105 against Milwaukee for my best bet for this Tuesday MLB card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. Great show as always. If you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you do that on the way out. We appreciate it. We will be back with you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Connor Mack, myself, and Jose Bouquet to break down the Wednesday MLB card. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you again tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.